All right, let's get into this. We're about to travel back, way back, like 2,500 years to ancient India. And it's a story about the Buddha, a really nasty rumor, and a set of rules about food that, I promise you, might just change how you think about, well, everything you consume.
So this whole thing kicks off with a really serious accusation. I mean, this was the kind of rumor that could have completely derailed the Buddha's entire teaching right from the start. The real question is, how did he handle it? Because his defense wasn't just some simple denial, it was a masterclass in getting to the real heart of an issue.
Okay, so let's set the scene. You've got the Buddha, his teachings are starting to get really popular, and then you have this guy named Jivaka. He's a famous physician, a respected guy, and he's worried. He's heard something that's really bothering him, so he does the right thing, he goes straight to the source to figure out what's true.
And there it is, the accusation, out in the open. The rumor isn't just that the Buddha is eating meat. No, it's that people are killing animals specifically for him and that he knows it and accepts it anyway. Now, for a philosophy that's built on non-harming, this is a huge deal. This could be a fatal blow.
The Buddha doesn't even hesitate. He's immediately like, nope, that is a straight-up lie. They're misrepresenting me. But he knows a simple denial isn't going to cut it. He needs to give his followers a clear way to navigate this. He needs to set a guideline.
And that's what brings us to the famous 3 purities rule. You have to remember, monks back then relied entirely on donations for food. So this was a really practical rule to help them deal with a pretty complicated social situation.
And the rule itself is incredibly simple. Basically, if you see an animal killed for your meal, if you hear that it was killed for you, or if you even just suspect it might have been, you have to refuse it. It's a very clear line in the sand. Seems to solve the problem completely, right?
So, that's that. Problem solved. A nice, clean rule. Case closed. But what if it's not that simple? What if the original words in the ancient Pali language were pointing to something much, much deeper than just a dietary rule?
And this is where it starts to get really, really cool. We have to stop and ask, are we missing the point? Are we just reading the surface-level translation? To find out, we have to dig deeper, using a special kind of analysis from the Buddha's own time.
Okay, time to put on our linguistic detective hats. We're going to look at the ancient Pali language, not just as a translator would, but by going to the very root of the words themselves to find out what the teaching was really about.
The tool we're using for this is called narati. Think of it as a kind of philosophical forensics. It's a way of breaking a word down to its absolute core, to see the principle it's built on. It's less about the dictionary definition and more about what the word is designed to do.
So let's rewind and go back to the Buddha's original explanation. We're going to apply this tool, this naruti, to 3 absolutely crucial words. We'll look at the common translation we all know, and then we'll see what this deeper analysis reveals.
All right, this is where it all starts to click into place. We're going to take these old, abstract ideas and translate them into something we can actually see and understand today.
Okay, first word, paribhunjati. The simple translation is, of course, to eat. But when you look at its root, the meaning is so much bigger. It means to fully experience something, to make use of it, to completely consume it and make it a part of you.
And right there, that changes everything, doesn't it? The teaching isn't just about what physically goes into your mouth, it's about the mental act of consumption. What are you really taking in? What's the quality of the mind that is doing the experiencing?
Okay, next word, apunyam. We usually hear this translated as demerit or bad karma, right? It sounds like some kind of cosmic penalty you get. But the Naruti analysis shows us something totally different. It means an act that is, by its very nature, unfulfilling. An act that doesn't resolve anything.
Imagine doing something that, instead of solving a problem, just tightens a knot inside you. It doesn't bring peace, it doesn't lead to release. That's apunyam. It's not a punishment from the outside, it's the internal state of being tangled up and unfulfilled.
So what's the opposite? Let's look at anavajam. The common translation is blameless food. See how that puts the quality on the food? But the deeper meaning is nourishment without fault. And that tiny shift in wording changes everything. Because it tells us the fault isn't in the object, it's in the mind that's consuming it. The nourishment becomes without fault only when our mind is balanced, when we're free from that greed, that anger, or that confusion about why we're consuming in the first place. So, let's put all these pieces together. When we look at the words this way, what was the Buddha really getting at? Let's zoom out and see the real message he was trying to deliver.
And here it is. This is the big takeaway. The rule, it was never actually about food. The entire debate, the rumor, the three purities, it was all just a powerful, practical metaphor for a much deeper principle.
And you can see this spelled out so clearly in the original text. The whole point of eating is purely functional. It's not for fun, not for entertainment. It's just to keep the body going so you can continue on the path. That's it.
The real teaching here isn't a dietary law. It's a law of intention, and it applies to everything we take in, not just food. Think about the media you consume, the arguments you get into online, the ideas you let into your head. Are you consuming them with a balanced mind, or one that's full of greed, anger, and agitation?
And that really just leaves us with one final question for ourselves. If consumption is really about the state of our mind, not the stuff we're taking in, then it forces us to look at our lives a little differently. So just take a second and ask yourself, beyond your last meal, what are you really consuming today?